Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Are you ready?
Hi guys, it's Ayanfe, welcome back to my channel, and I'll be sharing with you how I got into the University of Cambridge to study medicine. And this is a funny story because not many people know it, and most people from my sixth form didn't even know I was applying. Like, most of them didn't know I had applied until I had gotten in. And I became the first person in almost 10 years to get into an Oxbridge University from my sixth form, which is really cool. But I'm going to share with you my progress, how I did it, some tips, and my overall story. So I think my journey, I would say, started in year 12 when I went to an Oxford shadowing day organized by the Oxford ACS at the time. Basically, I found out about the shadowing day 2 days before the deadline for like submission of applications, and I found it out on Twitter because my brother saw it randomly and then he sent it to me, and I quickly like filled out the application. Then I had to go to Oxford to wake up at 3 a.m, leave Leicester at 4 a.m, take a coach. But it was like an overall amazing day because that was the first time I really considered Oxbridge as an option. I don't know why I didn't before. It wasn't really in the back of my mind. I was more focused on doing medicine and then whatever uni. But then that was the first time I really considered that maybe I could actually do this. And I met loads of cool people. Renee, his friends, her and Courtney's video was like the main stimulus, I guess, that made me really start thinking. And then Josh, Fee's friend, which was a YouTuber I watched at the time and watch now as well. But yeah, it's really interesting. But then that was the first time I really considered it. And then, sorry, I'm looking down my notes so I don't forget anything. And that, I guess that would be my turning point. And I didn't really think much about it after because I went back into school. It wasn't really like a big thing. Like, our school didn't really send people to Oxford, so it wasn't like pushed in the school. And then when it came to summer, when I was like thinking more about university applications, I was like, I can't do this. I can't apply. And that was mainly because, one, like, I didn't think that I would fit in to that type of environment because, and what else? Two, because I saw as medicine as like difficult enough to get in to any uni, so I didn't want to add extra stress, and I do not enjoy stress. So, and then there'll be extra stress of SAQ, extra stress of another admissions test, and I was like, I cannot do this. I can't do this. And then the third reason was because our school hadn't sent many people before, so I thought I wouldn't get as much support as some other applicants, especially because like some people is their like life, is part of their life goals to go here, and I was like, I'm not prepared. So then at that point I'd written it all off, and then especially after I did my UK CAT, which is one of the admissions tests for medicine, I was like, definitely not, because my UK CAT score was like quite good, like above average, so I could have applied to most UK CAT universities and gotten in, hopefully, if my like personal statement interview went okay. Yeah, so I wrote off the BMAT completely, and I was like, I'm just gonna apply to UK CAT universities. And I remember my mom always tells me, both my parents tell me, like, aim for the best. So then Oxford and Cambridge, my mom was like, you're applying to one of them, pick one. And but obviously she didn't force me. Like, she was just like very encouraging, and I was still battling with it until it was like 3 weeks until we had to send up our applications, which is at some point in September because of early admissions and whatnot. Ultimately, I picked Cambridge because I was not prepared. The BMAT that we had to do, I knew, of course, like people were only applying to BMAT university, so some people would have been revising since summer, and I was like, I cannot compete with that, especially because Oxford looks at your grades and your BMAT score quite heavily, and Cambridge is more like everything, because they invite so many people for interviews, so they get to know you a little bit more. But Oxford invite less people, so I couldn't predict what I would have gotten that BMAT. So I was like, I'll be safer with Cambridge. So I chose Cambridge, and in Cambridge I go to Robinson College. So if you ask me why I chose Robinson College, I chose college because I'm gonna be honest, Courtney Daniela went there, and then that's like the only college I really heard of at the time. Like King's, Trinity, didn't know her. So then when I went into more detail in like really investigating colleges, I researched the average BMAT score for each of the colleges, and then Robinson's was like achievable, which was good. And then I looked at the website for the applicants to offer ratio for my subject, and then Robinson was also okay then. So I thought, like, if I wanted to apply, especially because it was so last minute, I was like, I'm gonna give myself the best chance to actually get in. So I applied to Robinson, and also they had the highest amount of en-suites like per the population. So I was like, I'm not sharing bathroom. That is a myth. I do not want to do that. So then, and I haven't shared one since. So who's winning now? Hey. Sorry. Those are the main reasons I chose Robinson, but I really love it. Like the architecture is very interesting. Like it has character. Like, one of our sixth form helpers at the time was he was a recent graduate from Cambridge, which is really weird how everything worked out. But I told him after I'd applied which college I applied to, and then I was like, Robinson. He was like, yeah, that's very red. Like I have lots of red brick, and I was like, okay. Fully knowing that I hadn't seen what this college looks like. Did I even Google it? Did I Google it? No. So also Google colleges. Google colleges. With medicine, you don't have to send off any previous work, which is good, but you had to do the admissions test before the interview. So you find out what you get like a few weeks before the interview. And so for preparing for the BMAT, because obviously I was the only one in my school who applied for Oxbridge and only one applying for medicine at Oxbridge. We had 2 of us applying for medicine that whole year. And yeah, so I was the only one doing the BMAT, and I didn't have much support in terms of revision. And every morning before school started, I had to get to school 30 minutes, 45 minutes early anyway. So I used that time to go on BMAT Ninja, which is the main resource I used, and like do loads of practice questions before school started. And obviously, because I didn't really want to tell my teachers I was applying, so I still had to keep up with work and then be revising for the BMAT at the same time. So that's what I did. And so in terms of personal statement, it was the longest part of the application, but it was also my most enjoyable, I guess. I quite enjoyed writing it. So with the personal statement, the first thing about Cambridge is you have to make it quite scientific. One of the other reasons I thought I would apply, because I don't like reading. I'm so sorry. I do not like reading. Well, I didn't used to, but I'm enjoying it. I'm learning how to enjoy it. I didn't used to like reading. I didn't used to read. So then I always thought that Cambridge and Oxford people like read for fun, and that's all they do because they're nerds. I'm sorry, but that was like my preconception. So I didn't like reading, and then when it came to my personal statement, I was like, do I have to read a research paper and like say how I enjoyed it and all that stuff? But then everything ties together, because what I ended up writing in my personal statement was about, I don't know if you guys have watched Concussion, the movie with Will Smith playing Beneth Omalu, who's like an American medical doctor, Nigerian American medical doctor, who found out about the effects of American football on the brain and like the effects on behavior and stuff. And I watched that movie on the way back from the Oxford Shadowing Day, and then I was really interested in it, so I researched more about it, and then I wrote about it in my personal statement. So I didn't have to read, I just watched the movie. But yeah, It was really interesting though. That's what I ended up writing about in my personal statement now. And then I did work experience at a care home, and loads of them had dementia as well. So I managed to tie that in with the CTE is the disorder. I managed to tie that in, and I was really interested in that as well. So my personal statement was like split into work experience and interest, volunteering, and then I linked that back to my interest in medicine and all of that. Then extracurriculars. So I've just have a little list of like what I included. So I included I was a prefect in school council for 2 years. I taught primary school children how to read, and I also supported with like, especially the kids that had like more trouble keeping up with the rest of the class. I would do one-on-one classes with them, and that was every Monday during year 12. I did that, and I also did athletics and netball, and I was in the church choir for 10 years. So I added all of that in my personal statement. And then so I had loads of people that I gave it to. I gave it to my form tutor, my brother who does medicine as well, one of my brother's friend who happened to be at Cambridge at the time. When I tell you, everything's ordered steps, because like there's so many things that interlined that just made it possible for me to go. Yeah, so I DM'd random people on Twitter. All I did was press how fresh. All I did was type like personal statement medicine on the Twitter search, and then some people had like put tweets out a few days before, which is a random as well, a few days before, like I'm a 4th year medic at Imperial. I think one of them said, if you need me to read over your personal statement, just DM me. And then I DM'd 2 of those people, and they were so much help. Let me tell you, it's so mad. And like my whole journey to Cambridge was like ordered steps, and like destiny help is for real. And then so I sent off my personal statement, and then also we have to do an SAQ. That SAQ, I just wrote more about like what I was really interested in, like the Bennett O'Malley thing, and then spoke some more about my work experience that I couldn't add in to my personal statement because I didn't have enough words. And then moving on. So I'd sent off my application, done my SAQ. Sorry guys, my camera battery ran out, but with interviews, I prepared for it with help from 2 of my biology teachers. Interviews, like I said before, was the first time I was in Cambridge. So I was like, oh, this is nice. It's a nice city. I didn't really get to look around because I thought I would be late for my interview. I wasn't, I was early. And the interview was very interesting, let me tell you. But I'll kind of do a different interview story because that's quite an interesting day. But yeah, my interview is quite good. I had 3, and I thought most of them had 2, but I had 3 that day. So I was there from like 2 till like 7-ish. After the interview, it was the long wait to find out whether you got in. And I remember, okay, so this is the story. So there's like a specific day that Oxbridge like sent out their results. It's like the Oxbridge results day, and everyone's like really panicky on like Twitter. And then so it was a day I was meant to get our like letters or like emails, and I remember that day I was meant to have a mock the next day. So I was at home anyway, and I was like really waiting for the letter. I was like, and then that night I was in my bed and I couldn't sleep, and it was like 2 a.m. I had a mock the next day. It was a math mock as well, and then on my YouTube recommended was like a video of like students who commit suicide or something, like those mental health videos. So I watched that, and one of them was of a person who went to Oxford, I think, and then he was like under so much stress and all of that. So then I went to bed thinking, yeah, God, if you don't let me get this thing, it's because you care about me and you don't want me to be stressed. So that is why I won't get in. And if you do let me get in, then that's great. But if you don't let me get in, then it's good because I will not be stressed like that. And that was like my mindset. I wasn't like too, and I think that really relieved me as well, because I'm like, why do I want to go through all this stress and break my head? why? But the next day I went to my mock, and I was in like the sixth form study area, silent study. It was just a place. It wasn't even a room. It was just an area of air, and seats. So then our head of sixth form at the time, like not everyone knew that I didn't even applied. And then because we were meant to have the results the day before, and I hadn't told him that I got in, so he just assumed that I didn't get in. And then he shouted, this man yelled. He yelled in front of the sixth form area. And like I told you, it's not a room, it's an area, it's just a space. So there were bare people there. And then he was like, oh, I guess it was no use then. And I was like, I was doing my work, I lifted my head, and it was like, because outwardly I was like, I haven't got an email yet, so I don't know. I'm just gonna do my mock and then see if it comes later. And then obviously, and I was like, but in my brain I was like, yeah. I was like, what? What do you mean? But yeah, but I didn't really deep it until like when I got home and I told my mom, and she was like, huh? But yeah, so then that day actually, and then he was like, after you finish your mock, come and meet me so we can open your email together, because he assumed that I'll get the email by then. So then after the mock, I saw the email in my phone and I ran home. I didn't want to open it with anyone around. I didn't want to open it with anyone around. And then so then I was gonna like wait till I got home and then open the email and then see like what the option were. But then I just couldn't. My walk home's an hour. I just couldn't wait an hour to get home and then open the email. So I opened it like when I'm outside school property, and it was like, oh, congratulations, blah blah blah, you got in. And I ran down the street of the school. I didn't know where I was running to because my house is still far, but I ran. And then I tried to call my brother, because obviously he does medicine, so he would be like, yay, and he didn't answer. I tried to call my dad, he didn't answer. I tried to call my mum, she did not answer either. My sister was still in school, so I couldn't like tell her. So I called my best friend and she screamed. They were both screaming. They were both screaming while I was running down the street looking like a weary, like a mad lady. And then I didn't know where I was running. Then I stopped running because I'm not fit. I stopped running, then walked the way home after I told like sixth form and stuff. And then they were happy as well. Then of course we did A-levels. What an interesting time. Just nervous because the exams were very interesting. One of the maths exams, I missed out a whole question, probably like a question and a half. I missed out a whole question because I was like, my brain hurts. And I think it was our very last exam. I was like, my brain hurts. I've done too many exams. my brain hurts. I'm tired of this. So then I missed out like one question and a half. But I tried. And then so then when it came to results day, so I was like quite confident with maths, but then it was like biology and chemistry, and the biology exam was the one where everyone was crying, so I didn't know what to think about that. Chemistry was just an iffy subject anyway. So then I saw my results on the day. I didn't even like see my results. I logged into track, and then I jumped from my bed because I'm on a bunk bed. I jumped from my bed, everyone was still asleep. I was like, wake up everyone, I got in. And yeah, it was really like my whole family was so happy. My dad and my mum were dancing. My dad prayed for 30 minutes. I even almost missed results day. I almost missed results day because at the time I got back to school, the teachers were gone. They were gone. I hope you enjoyed listening to my story about how I got into Cambridge. But I think what I want you guys to get from it the most is that no matter how ill-prepared you may feel or how disadvantaged you think you might be, you still need to try. And like, if I never tried, I wouldn't have seen what I could do. But honestly, if you would like to go, I've believe that you can. And this channel is to encourage as many of you guys as possible to really achieve your dreams, whether it's applying to the top medical schools or even considering medicine in the first place, or applying to Oxbridge or the top Russell Group universities, is to empower you with the confidence that you can and you will. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one.